morning. Here we are in Edinburgh, November, a little bit chilly, but we'll no doubt warm up. So we're going to start off with sitting, and this is Pilates today. So we want to make sure that we've got a nice straight spine and we can have our legs crossed. Now, if that's not comfortable for you, you can have the soles of the feet together and have your heels quite far away so that it's possible for you to sit. So even if you're a little bit stiff, you can sit like this in a way that's possible to keep your spine straight. So what we're looking for here is a nice stacked spine. So we want the vertebrae to be one on top of the other. So if you're finding that you're in this kind of position and you can't get your spine straight, you probably want to just get your bottom a little bit higher, which makes it possible to get your straight spine. Right, okay, so from there, we're just going to take our weights. So let's have one in each hand. Let's get our breathing going. So we're doing in through the nose. And in Pilates, they do say breathe out through the mouth, but I find the Ujjayi breath works really well with Pilates too. So you can breathe in and out through the nose, as if you were breathing in and out through the front of the throat. So as you're sitting, just watch that you haven't over-hollowed the back. So just make sure the back of the waist is back, your sit bones are down, and then we're going to take our arms so that the blocks are just lovely. Okay, now let's lift our elbows so the elbows are shoulder height, and then just move your wrists so that they're over your arms, over your elbows, I mean. So exhale, we're going to just stretch one arm up, inhale down. Exhale, one arm up, inhale down. Now, can you slow that down, Trish? Exhale, up, inhale down. Yeah, you probably need to take your hands further away than you think, because there's a tendency to bring your wrists in. So just maybe widen your wrists away a little bit more than you think. Stretching up. Keep these elbows at shoulder height. And use your breath, Kirsten. Exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. So this is working our biceps. Okay, and then back to our first position. Let's do both hands together. One, exhale up, inhale down. Don't go lower, keep the elbows at shoulder height. And then when you lift up, just hold for a moment and down. Slow it down, Trish. Don't go so low, Trish. Keep your, only go as low as your elbows in line with your shoulders. That's better. Okay, one. Let's do two more. One, two, and release. You kind of feel that first thing in the morning, don't you? Right. Now we'll just have a little rest of that actually. So clasp your hands behind your back, squeeze your shoulders together. So we're opening our chest. Keeping that, if that's really hard for you to catch your hands, then use your belt and clasp your hands so that you've got your belt behind your back and you can still get that lovely open chest. From there, we're going to take a breath in, exhale, look over the right shoulder, inhale back. Exhale, look over the left shoulder, inhale back. Exhale, over the right, over the left, and back. Now, what's happened to your back? Are you sticking these ribs out? Just check that you've got your sit bones settled. Right ear to right shoulder. And back, left ear to left shoulder. And back, right ear to right shoulder. Look behind your right shoulder. Back, left ear to left shoulder. Look behind you. And back. So release the hands, chin to chest. As you do that, see if you can lift your sternum up towards your chin. And then we're going to look up, chin up to the ceiling. Let's clasp the hands behind the back again as we do that. Really squeeze these shoulders together. Remember, use your belt if that's a bit tight for you. In the shoulders and release. And again, squeeze your shoulders, lift up. Lovely, and release. Okay, so we're taking hold of our weights again, and we're going to stretch our arms out. So try and again keep your elbows up around shoulder height, and this time we're going to, yeah, we'll do it like that. Face the your palms down, lift your elbows up, and then we're just going to take the elbows back behind us. Now try and keep your shoulders down, but your elbows lifted. Now as you do that, use your exhalation to open and see how much you can really draw your tummy in and up, scooping and hollowing. So Kirsten, shoulders down a bit more and really draw your belly in towards your spine. Shoulders down away from the ears. Try and keep these elbows up. Let's do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lovely. Great. Right. Now take your belt, take your arms out again, and this time turn the palms up. And we're going to just bend the elbows. Now try and keep your wrists over your elbows. So it's very easy just to let your hands fall in. So just watch that doesn't happen. So you might have to open your wrists wider than you think. And then again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep your elbows up. 8, 2 more. 9, 10. And release. Yeah. All right, let's head down to the floor. So we're going to lie on the floor. Now, it could be that you need a cushion under your head, depending on your shoulders. So when we lie on the floor, we're going to go into our start position with the feet on the floor, knees bent, pointing up to the ceiling. You want to make sure that when you stretch your arms, there's nothing impeding you. So perhaps move your weights and so on out of the way. Okay. And as I say, if you find when you lie on the floor that your chin's sticking up in the air, then you could probably just do something, popping it under your head. Right. Good. Okay, so we're going to start making circles with our arms. But first of all, let's just make sure our shoulders are on the floor. So we're going to lift the hands to the ceiling. Inhale up, exhale down, drop the shoulders down. Inhale up, exhale down. No, keep your head where it is, Trish. Just doing arms, shoulders up. Lovely. And then from there, we're going to start making little circles with our arms, and we're gradually increasing our circles. See if we can keep our arms straight. And some of you will be able to then just brush the floor with the backs of your hands. Then we're going to take our right leg up into our tabletop position. And then we're going to come up, shoulders and head off the floor, and we're counting 1, 2, 3. Take the head back, change the direction of your circles, get them going, and then up we come again, and we're counting 1, 2, 3. Swap legs, coming up, 1, 2, 3. Going down, change the direction of your circles, keep your leg up, keep the left leg up. Change the direction of your circles, up again. 1. Try and do your circles right from the shoulder joint. 2, 3, lovely, and down, keep your circles going. Now, if that was okay for you, both legs up, but if you take both legs up and you start to dome, then just go back to the first leg. But if you can manage both legs up, keeping your scoop, then off you go. 1, 2, 3, change the down, change the direction, get your circles going, up you come again. 1, 2, 3, lovely, and down. If you were using one leg, swap to your second leg. Those of you that were fine with that, let's just do it with our legs straight. 1, 2, 3, down, change the direction. 1, 2, 3, and down. Lovely, and then great, and then just hug the knees to the chest for a moment. Okay, so from there we'll just take our feet back on the floor so the knees are still pointing up to the ceiling, and this time we're taking away anything we've got under our head. Just take it out away from you. Let's really tuck our shoulders under as much as we can, and then we're doing our bridge. So we're pushing down with the feet, we're lifting one vertebrae at a time, starting from the base of the spine. You can have your arms out wide. Now, bring the weight more to the left side without tilting the hips, so your hips stay as they are. Just lift up that right leg, holding, and then we're going to roll down with that right leg up in the air, and then we're going to keep that right leg up in the air. We're going to roll back up again, rolling down, scoop and hollow, rolling up, rolling down, lovely, one more, rolling up. Good, place that leg back on the floor and then get your bridge again. Left leg up without tilting, good, and we're rolling down and rolling up. So as you roll up and down, you're placing one vertebrae at a time and you're lifting one vertebrae at a time. So it's like placing the strings of a necklace down and then lifting them up. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Okay, both feet down and then lift up into your bridge again. Take the arms over the head. Scoop and hold. Feel the feet on the floor, pushing through your feet. Let the hips lift. Lovely. Think about your hip bones moving a little bit higher towards the ceiling. Send your knees towards, away from your hip bones. So your knees are going away from your body. Breathing, take the arms over the head. And then to come down, we're going to take the upper back, and then the mid back, then the tailbone. You might need to start lifting your arms to position that. Take your arms back down. So we're going to do that 2 more times. We're rolling up onto the backs of the shoulders, arms over the head. Breathing. Feel your feet working. Lift the hip bones a little bit higher. Feel your buttocks working. Rolling down, upper back, mid back, and tailbone. Notice how you have to let your arms come with you. You have to lift them slightly. Take the arms all the way down. Last one, rolling, coming up, arms over the head. Push through the feet, keep your feet parallel. If your knees are wandering off to the side, you need to just walk your feet a little bit wider. So you want to make sure your knees stay over your ankles. Beautiful. Just get these hips lifted a little bit higher. Feel how you have to work through the buttocks and inner thighs. Okay, coming down, upper back, mid back, tailbone, and then we're just going to keep the arms where they are, but stretch through the legs as well. Stretching as long as you can. Now we're going to do an extra stretch with the right arm and the left leg, so it's a diagonal stretch across your body. Breathing. Change direction. Left leg, right arm, diagonal stretch. Cross your body and then back. Now we're going to stretch both arms, both legs. As you do that, just let the back waist move back towards the floor, and you'll feel as you do that you get that scoop and hollow in your belly. So let the back of the ribs, the back ribs, get them moving down towards the floor. That's it, Kirsten. And feel how as you do that, your belly goes in and up. That's you really feeling that activation, which we want to engage on this next one. So we're going to now go onto our side. So you're going to need your blocks handy, a couple of blocks, and you will need your cushion. So just have your blocks ready, we don't use them quite yet. So we're going to lie, now in my case I'm lying on my left side, but as long as we alternate, you can do it on the side first. When I lie on my left side, I have the palm of the hand on the floor. I'm rotating the whole of that left arm. So the inner arm is facing down towards the floor. And then I just want to pop my cushion between my ear. And that helps you to keep your head in the right position. Now, if you're starting out, you can start out with both knees bent. And the main thing to do is to really lift that lower waist. Because what we're now going to do is straighten through our top leg. And we're just going to stretch and lift, stretch and lower, stretch and kick forward, stretch and come back to center. So we're doing that on the exhalation up, inhale down. Now, if I'm seeing you doing ballet, I know that you're not keeping your core activated, you haven't lifted your lower waist. So we don't want to, it's not about how high you can go, it's about keep working from the core. Now, if that's easy for you, there's no need to have your knees bent, you can have both legs straight. And if you want to up the stakes, you can have your bottom leg just floating off the floor as you do the pose. So kick forward and back, up, down. Can you make that more smooth, Ruth? Make sure you're lifting the lower waist. So imagine there's a little mouse wants to come and run underneath you. You have to make sure you've got that space. If you need, you can have one hand on the floor to keep your balance, or you can have one arm up. Yeah, that's nice, Victoria. Back. So let's do 3 more. 1, 2, 2, 3. Great, and then relax. Okay, now from there we're going to bend both knees. Right, just check you've got space underneath your waist. Now, even if your body's still touching the floor, you want to get that feeling of lift. Because as you lift here, you draw in the belly, in and up, and now we're going to squeeze the heels together. Let the knees open. Shoulders away from the ears. Scoop and hollow. Scoop and hollow. Really, don't just collapse the shoulders. You've got to be opening the chest, broadening across the front of the body. Exhale to open, inhale, close. That's it, Kirsten. Exhale to open, inhale, close. Feel how your belly's scooping and hollowing. So rather than lifting with the knee, you're initiating the movement from the heel, from the ankle. 3 more. Good, and then just relax for a moment. Okay, so keeping the legs as they are, we're going to now just float that whole top leg up and then flex your foot. And I want you to imagine now you've got a spring on your heel. You're going to push that spring away, but the spring's strong and it pushes you back. But then you get the upper hand, and then the spring brings you back, and then you get the upper hand. So there's this tension in the leg. You've got your scoop and hollow. You've got your lower waist lifting. So you don't need to, don't straighten the leg completely. This is getting into the buttock muscle. It's quite specific. So it's actually quite, if you're not feeling it where I'm tapping, then you're not doing it right. Okay. Let's do 4 more. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and release. So yeah, you should feel it just there. Great. Now, we need our blocks now. We're going to put them in front of us and popping the knee up on your block. So you want to have your hip and your knee in line, in a straight line. So it's better to have your blocks a bit higher. And then we're going to stretch through that bottom leg, lift that lower waist, up we go on the exhalation with the bottom leg. Inhale down, exhale up, inhale down, scoop and hollow, scoop and hollow. Really stretch through the bottom leg before you lift it. That's looking good, some nice lifts there. Think about lifting from the inner thigh rather than from the foot. That way you don't bend the knee. Okay, now keep that going, but if you want to take it up a level, we'll just do some circles with the leg. Keep the scoop, really activate that core. So do 5 or 6, change direction. 2, 4, 5, 6, nice. You really feel that in the inner thigh of the leg that you're lifting. All right then, so we're just going to roll to the other side. So I'm going to change my position so I can still see you all. So we're lying on the right side now, and we want to turn the right palm down. So we want to rotate the inner arm and use the cushion to help you to get your head in the right position. Bend the knees and lift that lower waist. Straightening the top leg. We're going to lift on the exhalation, lower on the inhalation. Kick forward, back, up, down, kick forward, back. If that feels okay for you, you can have both legs straight. And if that's even okay, you can have your top leg floating. Kirsten, will you calm down? You're going crazy there. Use your core. Kirsten, use your core. Don't use momentum. So you want a long, smooth movement. Exhale up. Keep that belly drawing in and up. Exhale up. Inhale. Back. Exhale up. Keep your shoulders rolling back and down. 3 more. 1, 1. Keep your scoop and hollow. And release. Lovely. And then just relax. So if I just show you while you're recovering from that, it's a difference between flinging it up, which I'm using kind of like momentum, and very controlled lifting my leg. So the difference between that and that. And as soon as I see a leg going high, then I'm going, They're not controlling it from the core, they're using momentum. So we're not looking for belly, we're looking for core control. Now, lifting that lower waist again. Take the heels back, and we're going to exhale. Squeeze the heels together, squeeze the ankles together. Let the knees open. So we're on that right side. The hips are stacked, the shoulders are stacked. Exhale, open. Inhale, close. It's a bit like a bellow. You want to really feel your tummy moving in and up, in and up, in and up. Okay, one more and release. Good, and then just relax. You should notice the difference between when you're in your active position and when you're in your relaxing position. So if I don't see any relaxing, then I know you weren't really activating when you were working. Okay, so we'll do our leg lift. So get our activation again. Lift the lower waist, scoop and hollow. Float that leg up. Now, brace your foot and then think about your heel as if it had a spring on it, and you're going to exhale, push away on an imaginary spring. And as you inhale, that spring is resisting and pushing you back. Nice and slow. Keep your knee at the same height all the way through. So we're not dropping the knee, we're just moving it slightly back and forward. If you find it's quite hard work, you can pause and have a rest. So lift that lower waist, keep the shoulders away from the ears, pushing away with the imaginary, pushing that imaginary spring away, and it's winning, and then you're resisting, and then it's winning, and you're resisting. Exhale. Three more. Lovely, and then release. And as I say, where this targets is just, yeah, exactly, just below the buttocks. Right, okay, now from there, let's take our blocks. So we want to put our blocks just in front of the hip. So you want your hip to be in line with your knee. And then we're going to straighten that bottom leg. So again, we're going to get that lift through that lower waist. Roll our shoulders back and down, open the chest. And then we're going to stretch and lift that bottom leg. We're lifting on the exhalation. Inhale down. Exhale, floating up. Inhale down. As you lift up, just think about lifting from the thigh rather than from the foot. That way you avoid bending the knee. Keep your scoop and hollow. Keep the lower waist lifting. So we're just floating up and floating down. So we're going to keep that float up, float down if that's giving you enough to get on with. If you want to take it up a level, we'll just take that into circles. Now the danger is when you do a circle that you bend your knee. So if you're at all bending your knee, just go back to straight legs. There's no rush. Keep your belly scoop and hollow. Change the direction of your circles. Great, lovely, and release. Okay, well done. So we'll just take a moment with the knees bent just to recover before we move on to the next thing. Okay, so from there, if you'd let yourself come up into a sitting position, And we're going to do our roll down, which we tried last week, and I think for a lot of people it's a little bit hard, so we're going to do it with the belt. Now if you've only got a yoga belt, then that's fine. We'll try it with the yoga belt, but to be fair, a stretchy belt actually works a little bit better. So I'm going to do it with my stretchy belt since I've got it, but I'll also try it with the yoga belt to make sure that it's possible. Okay, so we're going to sit on our sit bones and take our belt, whichever kind we're using, around our feet and have the knees bent so your heels are on the floor and you're sitting up tall as you can. So this is our start position. Lovely. And then we're going to round the spine. So we're making what's called a C shape with the spine. So let's just try that first of all. Just round the spine, leaning back a little bit, and then inhale, come up straight to the spine again. So round the spine, and then inhale, straighten, round the spine, and straighten. Good, lovely. Now, if that feels like quite hard work, you can just stay with that. Or you can just go a little bit further and then straighten. Exhale, round the spine, go a little bit lower, and then keeping the spine round, come back up, and then inhale, straighten, rounding the spine. So some of you can go all the way down, keep the back round as you come up, inhale, straighten. If you can, get all the way to the floor, lay on the floor, take a breath in, exhale, keeping the spine rounded so you're scooping and hollowing, and then we're straightening up. That's it. Keep the, Trish, don't come up with a straight back, come up with a round back. So we're rounding, pushing this, so you're pushing the lower back into the floor as you come up, that's it. And then when you're up, then you straighten. Round, bend, keep the knees bent, Trish. Keep your knees bent and don't go so low. If you find it hard getting up, don't go so low. I'm going to try it with the yoga belt. Yeah, it works with the yoga belt, but you perhaps need to just slide your hands down as you go down in lieu of not having, and then round your hands up in lieu of not having the stretch. But if you've got your stretchy belt, that's fine. So just go as far as you can do it with keeping control. So you don't want to use momentum. Exhale. Lovely. Okay, now for those of you that find that okay, we're going to try it without the belt, but just carry on with your belt if you need your belt. So if we're going to try it without the belt, make sure you've got plenty of room behind you. So we're going to roll down, take the arms over the head, inhale, exhale, we're going to roll up. Keep the back rounded though as you roll up. Rolling down, arms over the head, exhale, roll up, straighten. Yep, that's nice, nice reflow. So you can do 5 at least. If you're doing great, you can go for 10. Very nice, Kirsten, that's lovely. Lovely, and then, great, good. Okay, and then we'll finish, nice. Keep these elbows in, Trish. And then we'll finish with a roll down and just have a stretch. Stretch the arms, stretch the legs. So let's bend our knees. Now, if you have blocks there, you can just put your feet on the blocks. Or if you've got a chair, you can put your feet up on the chair. Because what we're going to do now is just take our right ankle in front of our left knee, square up your hips, and just let that right knee, just let it drop, let it open up towards the right. Now what we're looking for is to have a wee something going on, a little glute stretch going on. If you find that you're not feeling anything, you can always just put your foot a little bit higher. Now, the other thing to think about is to make sure that you're not pulling up, you're not rolling up your hips up off the floor. So you want to drop your hips down, drop your sit bone down, not your sit bone, your coccyx, your tailbone. Let that descend. And you can also go in a little bit closer to your blocks till you start to feel something happening in that right glute. Open the arms out to the side. Breathing, open the chest, roll your shoulders back and down. Nice, and then release. Okay, so now take your blocks again. Oops. And we're going to swap the foot that's on top. So I'm putting my right foot now on the block, and left ankle now comes in front of that right knee. If you've got a chair, you can use the chair. Open the chest. Take your arms out to the side. So you've got your left ankle pressed in front of your right knee, that's it. You can either have your feet up on a chair or on your block, or if you are a little bit tight in the hips, you may find that just having your foot on the floor is going to give you enough. But you want to feel something happening in that left glute. So you're sliding that left ankle down and just opening the left knee out to the side. You want to keep your tailbone on the floor and breathing. So just find a place where you can feel something, and then just working with the breath to soften and release. Breathing in through the nose. So I'm saying breathing out through the floor, out through the nose, because we're doing our Ujjayi breath here, which we're transposing from the yoga, which I find works very well for Pilates, although it's not the traditional breath that you get taught if you're doing another Pilates class. So see if you can get a feeling of the breath really filling the body now as your body relaxes. Lovely. Okay, great. Okay, and then we're going to just move our blocks to the left, and we're going to straighten our left leg. Lift up your right leg. Now it may be that you need to have your knee slightly bent, but if you can lift it up to the ceiling, I'm just going to catch around the thigh, and let's just do some lovely rotations there in that right ankle. So we're lifting up, round, back and down, seeing how much of a circle you can make. Changing direction. Lovely. And then let go of your leg, but just keep it up in the air. And we're going to just let it drop over to the side, over to the left side. Now this is where you can have your blocks ready to catch your leg. And then once your leg's over to the right, you're going to rotate so that your right shoulder is staying down on the floor. So you may need to lift your leg up a little bit to keep your right shoulder down. It doesn't matter if it's not touching anything, it can be hovering, and your knee can be slightly bent. So we're doing a little ringing out of the spine. We're going right, the right shoulder's pinned to the floor. Left leg, left knee, moving over to, sorry, right leg, right knee, moving over to the left. Breathing. So this straight leg, the bottom leg, which is the left leg, let it be really long. So it's quite an active ringing of the spine. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Keep your core engaged. And then to come up, we're going to inhale, draw our belly in and up to bring that leg back. Lovely. And if you found the blocks were any use on that side, you can swap them over, but otherwise, if you're free floating with the leg, then you don't need to go. Okay, so we're going to lift that left leg, if you can, the sole of the foot to the ceiling, but you can keep the knee bent if that's what you need to do. Catching around the left thigh, we're rotating that left ankle. Breathing, so nice conscious circles. Change direction. Lovely, and then release. Now, let go of your arm, keep that leg held up. If you need to have the knee bent, that's fine. And we're going to now take that left leg over to the right. As we do, we're going to rotate into our left shoulder. So we're doing a ringing of the spine. Don't let that left shoulder come up off the floor. If it's coming off the floor, it means you need to pin it down a little bit more strongly, and don't take that left knee as far around. So only go as far with the left knee as you can keep your shoulder down. Don't stick your rib cage out. Keep your ribs softening down towards the spine. And then you can land on your blocks. So if you've got something there, if that's working for you. And you can straighten that bottom leg if you want to increase the stretch. Looking along the left side. Breathing. So we're making this an active stretching in through the nose, out through the nose. See if you notice anything in the hand, in that left hand, stretching through your fingers, your left finger. Nice, and then release. Great, okay, lovely. Now, coming back to our start position, which is both feet on the floor, knees pointing up to the ceiling. And we're going to bring something back under your head if you find that helps you. We're taking a block, we're going to put it between our knees. And it's important with this that we make sure that we've got what we call neutral spine. So if you make it the diamond shape with the thumb and the forefingers, And we've got the thumb just below the navel and the fingers just above the pubic bone. That needs to be flat. So if you were to put a cup of tea there, filled to the brim, you're not going to get it spilling on you. So we're keeping that what we call our flat diamond, keep our shoulders rolling back and down. And then as we exhale, we're just going to let our knees go to the right. And as we inhale, we scoop and hollow and we bring the knees back to center. Exhale to the left. Now, as we do that, we're going to keep this feeling of the shoulder staying down, the opposite shoulder, as we were doing earlier. Inhale. So off you go with that. So that's level 1. And if you find that's quite challenging, then stay with level 1. If you want to go up a level, we're going to take our feet off the floor. And then exhale, going to the side, inhale back. Exhale, going to the side. Exhale, going to the side. Keep the opposite shoulder down. Inhale, scoop and hollow to come back. Exhale, going to the side. Scoop and hollow. If you find as you're doing it that your belly's doming, you can't keep your scoop and hollow, then just take your feet back to the floor. However, if you're finding that you're fine with your feet off the floor, you can now challenge yourself a bit more by straightening through the legs. If you can have straight legs, then that's great. If you can get your toes above your hips, your ankles above your hips. Yeah, Kirsten, don't worry about that. And then this is quite a hard level, so we're going to take the feet to the hand and inhale, come back. Take the feet to the other side, the other hand, and inhale back. So this is probably level 4. So just stay with the level that works for you. This is really, yeah. Yeah, Victoria, you can try straightening your legs a bit more. Scoop and hold. So you're trying to bring your toes to your hands. 2 more. 1. 1. 2. 2. Lovely. And then we'll just hug the knees to the chest. Yeah. Excellent. Okay, and then we'll just hold the knees to the chest for a while. Okay, so we're going to roll round into the pose of the child, but if you're not going on your knees, you can just stay with this position with your knees towards your chest. And if that's awkward for you to catch your knees to your chest, you can use your belt, which means you can take the knees slightly further away, which can often give you the space you need to just have these knees pulled towards you and you're using your hands to catch your belt. Otherwise, we're going to sit onto the heels if we can. Forehead on the floor. Now, for those of you that find that pose not really possible, you can just pop up onto some blocks and, oops, you can have something to land on. So you can adjust the pose of the child to work with your body. So you just need to find some props around the house that's going to help you. But if you can't get your heels down, then you want to also be on the tops of your feet. Kirsten, can you get your chair and put your feet up on your chair? So as we're in pose of the child, I'd just like you to think about letting the front of the rib cage settle down onto your spine, onto your thighs. And then if you feel comfortable like that, you can take the hands by your side, which will cause gravity to push down a little bit more strongly. If that's too much for you, you can bring your hands forward again. Lovely. And then from there, come into kneeling, and then let's go tuck our toes under, keep our feet hip distance, spread our toes, and then we're just going to come onto our toes into a little squat position. And then if you can, oops, bring the heels down. Elbows inside, palms together. Push your elbows into your knees, but resist with the knees. Yeah, you can do this against the chair if you need the extra height. These squats are very good for just getting flexibility back into our feet and across the toes and ankles. Okay, and then from there, we're going into forearms on the floor, and again tuck these little toes under. I'm just going to push up into an elbow dog. Now you can keep your knees slightly bent, and then we're just going to slide the head forward towards your thumbs and then push back again. Slide the head forward to your thumbs and push back. So let's just do 5, lovely. And then we'll just go back into the pose of the child. But this time, take your arms in front and really elongate through your ribs before you place your hands back down. So you've got a lovely stretched spine. Just taking the chance to let your rib cage fall more heavily down onto your legs, onto your thighs. Noticing the more you can release in your ribs, the more your lower back spreads and softens. Lovely, and then great, release. Okay, so we'll finish there, but we'll do a nice little relaxation to finish. So if you have your pillow, if you like the pillow, and for those of you that have any issues with the lower back, it's very nice just to take your feet, take your calves up onto a chair. So if you imagine I've got a chair there, which obviously I don't, you can just do this relaxation with your calves resting on your chair, allowing your knees to fall away. But otherwise, you can also try putting something under your knees. So, or you can just be in a straight line. So if we get ourselves organized, and then you can pop a blanket over. So just checking that we're in a straight line, our shoulders are tucked under, and then we're allowing the feet, the toes to fall away from the heels, knees falling away to the side, hips relaxed. You can have the arms out to the side, fingers, palms facing up to the ceiling, and just fingers curling. Nape of the neck nice and long. We're going to use every exhalation to drop and soften the weight a little bit more heavily with every exhalation. Just notice whether what your jaw is doing. You want to allow that lower jaw to fall slightly away from the upper jaw. So there's a little gap between your lips, and your tongue is soft in the mouth. Really giving your weight to the mat with every exhalation. Nice, and then from there we're just going to get ready to take a deep breath. And moving our fingers and toes, stretching our arms and legs. Just have a good stretch through your entire body. And then let's roll on to one side in preparation for coming up. So take a moment on one side. Lovely. And then from there, you can come up. Great. So we'll just take a moment to sit in alignment, to finish together, bringing our hands together. You can have the thumbs just on the sternum and just gently moving the sternum to meet your thumbs. Keep the back crease back, shoulders rolling back and down. Lovely, thank you all. And please do like and subscribe and share if you enjoy this. Thank you.